Everybody's got something to say. Everybody's got a rating, highlight until they step in here. This isn't your page. This isn't your city. It is for show at your comfort zone. This is OTD, where every possession has a response. Every move got an answer, and every player gets tested. You can bring your squad, you can stand alone, it don't matter. If you're not like that, we can see it. And if you are, show us. OTD Elite, everybody's got answers.
Closer to my dreams, don't smile heavy. Feel me, tell me, pull up on my blood testing. Strawberry Beach 26, bitch, blood testing. Off that jacket, tear gas, that ain't young messy. In the war, I finally moved, trying to always let me. Felt the panic, but I got myself a high like the camera. I hide the cat if I remember this, you know. The fish gotta know, I don't like but you make sure that you trouble. OTD 7, we're back with another game this time. 3-on-3, second game today. We got Rob, Reese, and Zay. We got Fambi, Lat, and King. This is an interesting. We haven't seen this mixture of teams, crossovers from TNC, OTD, blah, blah, blah. Like it's a little mixture out there. This is like it. Different mentions. So I'm excited for this. I think they're going to play hard. And yeah,
Yo, we back, man. Day 2, man. We finna get the day started, man. We're swapping some teams around a little bit. We got Rob, Reese, and Zay versus Bobby, Latin, and King. Bobby had a PED performance yesterday. And you had a PED performance yesterday, man. You looking to the same thing.
Yeah, man. I ain't lost the offense. So, check the record. Even from when they started, first start, I've never lost a team. Make sure you check.
Hey, Swish, go fact check, man. He might be on to something. If he's undefeated in like 2 years on offensive, I might be crazy. But Lad, man, you're going against some of your guys, but you got, man, familiar faces on it out the building.
Me, Bumpy, here we go.
Key, man, I know you got me salty about the loss yesterday, and you get to see Reese on the court. Is you gonna see Red, or you just gonna you gonna guard him, or you playing? What's the team matchup?
Team matchup, just trying to get the 50 points. That's all that matters to me. Watch how I turn in my guys. Y'all know I'm gonna be the one talking sick. They ain't gonna do it. Watch, I'm gonna watch. Y'all gonna see Lat say something.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think. Oh yeah, man, losing this whole trip.
Keep it consistent.
Good money, man. How you like your odds versus? And that's a nice shirt, man. Let me hold on. It's your brand. Oh, my fault. You got Reese. You got the double King. I told him, I said, man, are you guarding Reese? Yeah, who you going?
Him?
You gotta say, man.
OTD Elite, man. Back outside. Make sure y'all tune in. Like, subscribe.
Hey, King, he said he guarded you. I asked him, he said he guarded you. Turn this bitch up, man. All the people let's get it.
My kid always has that combination. The storyline with him is, I think early on his career, kids from the family. Family that I seen him from. Maturing, from what I've heard, that motherfucker, he's easily going to be top 10, top 5 players. Well, it's all because I got a real school. I've seen a little bit of a different roster too. He's just commentary yesterday on Star. He was like, man, I like where I feel like. Because you bring the best in the out. He's like, I like where I feel. And he was out here shooting for like an hour before we started. He's like, all our movement. This is good basketball. Yeah. I can't get super free throw wrong. I know you're talking about the come on, like a river, you know, take a couple months off, say like that. Like I said, it's different than it was yesterday. Yesterday was like he kept checking his heel, he was kind of timid, and he still like hurt, man. I think he got something to prove. I never been to that. It's actually Reese driving on the hot. Yeah, this is a different ride. Let's see it today. This is the ride I want to see. I want to see players play their best whenever the best way to do it. We're not gonna get this all the Sunday often, so you don't want guys to leave here and be like, man, I just didn't have my best weekend or whatever. Again, keep the comments and the fans and all that, but we know how good all these guys are. Other guy that can get going. That's a good argument, really. You see it a lot of stuff. One of the 5 points from the school, 5 points. And they had 23. That's just all move like all move. Yeah, it's just like he's for the best. Not too fast. You get to his body rise up. You go left. You go right. So easy for him. So easy for him. Like if you kick it to him, his shot taking dab, you gotta do something else. You know, sometimes it's more comfortable after that. More comfortable. I think that's why you did really well yesterday with school and Zay, because they need somebody you can be a catch and shoot. It's not like everyone just having the ball in their hands. It is pretty easy to put the play to. They play so much like we do. Not my dreams, I'm subject to threes and all kinds of like, you know, the communication is not
Curious Made was good, bro.
And then I noticed yesterday, first time I seen it move. Oh, yeah, it just moves another one. Like directing me where to go, how to play attention for rebounds. He got robbed and then he locked it too.
Curious Made, Cam, Doris was good, y'all.
He won't have to figure that out. He's used to being stronger, being able to move someone slowly. Yesterday, we saw. Sometimes I've been a big crazy back. Everyone talks about pace. I'm like, pace isn't good if you can't go first. Yeah, if you can't go 100%. And I think a lot of guys are like, my first couple of days, you tell me, like, actually, just tell me, you might feel what you got to work on. You were saying, yeah, all the time. Like, I don't think a lot of these guys even reach, like, the goes from the arrow out. You know, they're like left to right. they don't attack the field. They just continue to put the pressure on the defenders. They get touched a lot of times. They don't do outside. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy you don't notice this stuff until somebody points it out.
Yeah.
Especially in a space like this, where it's hard to see because the guys are going through the brain. Sometimes it's takes someone watching from the outside. It's too early, Bobby. That's it. I love the off-ball action. And then it got the straight where he wanted anyways. Yeah. I love this. Yeah, Rob was looking at the hot today. Get your number. Is that a matchup we need to see? Is that a matchup? I'll be yesterday. Oh, yeah, even though that really split us. He can tell that dribble like Storm. He got that little foot like Storm. Wait for it to get on there, shut it down. He's one of the few people that gave his on top of the hanger. Yeah. That's great. That's the page. So I want to see Reese get back to what he was doing yesterday. I think he figured out how basketball works. Now you just got to realize that's how you do it. Get downhill. Go in straight line until someone stops you. Yeah, slow down, stop. Slow down, stop. He's got 2 more buckets. There you go. Off the closeout. Rebounds. Awesome. Yeah, that was their shot. That was their shot. I don't know. Well, they shot it, and then it was changing possession. But was it changing possession? Did he have it all together? Did he have it all? Regardless, I think it should count because it was their shot. Yeah, and it was a rebound. Like, it never got cleared. So in the 5-on-5, you'd still be on your side of the court. Just stick with it, and then they go along. Somebody says it's okay. Oh. I'm telling you, it's a different round today, man. Yep. Oh, I like that. Hey, let's go. I will say usually make shit like that. Yeah. That's making it tough.
There are a lot of opinions on what's healthy. But what really matters is what's healthy for you. So Google tapped my team to help create something new that adapts to your body, your goals, and your life.
Spend $10, get $10, up to 10 times with Pace.
Watch all FIFA World Cup matches on Fox One, available with YouTube. Now it's easy to watch, even when it's hard.
Man, this is intense. Like yesterday, it was taking like 10, 15 points before the team games were getting going. This is straight to it today. That's gotta go. I think it's got I don't think I ever seen that from. Yeah, I don't think I ever seen it get to it either. Yeah. That's a tough matchup to Reese there. There's no way you can tell me Bobby didn't play deep this year. No way. Yeah, this is like that's probably the worst matchup for Reese. That speed downhill is tough on to defend at the moment. But then he also just so strong. There you go. I like they switched this. Now let's see if they try to get another switch. I think you go back to Fonzie right there. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Evil twin. I told you. I saw a different Rob, man. I know he's injured. I don't think he likes. I don't think he likes not being considered not one of the best players in the team, injured or not. So I knew he was going to come out today ready to prove something. Yeah, being around him is definitely competitive. Ooh, stop, what? He don't need it right now. That ain't the rope for him. From half court though. Robert wants to get back what Fonzie did to it just like. Oh my. I think that was a tactical cool down move by OTD. Like, hold on, I gotta fix the scoreboard. Slow it down. I tried to get Reese pointers on that push. Defensively, offensively, but defensively, honestly, good. So, Reese, everybody knows he can really score, and Henderson is defense. So, I've been trying to get the advice down like all week, of course. That's something that's been close to I didn't get anywhere. I'm trying to get a little bit of space. But yesterday, after the game, I'm trying to get some pointers on like the defense because he is strong. He don't look as strong. He's strong as shit. So, if your push me ain't bad, that's an attack. Like, gotta stay attack. It's just too much space. Yeah. Now, if I can just show you do whatever. I ain't too comfortable. Huh? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to show Reese, I'm like, you that strong. In this place, you lose that handshake, you know what I mean? And I think he needs to just use it a little bit more, especially like on the first. Damn. Yeah. Jeez. He said it wrong. Like, so, let's get to halftime, right? Oh. That hurt. Oh. I mean, what do you I mean, what do you do? How do you stop Rob when he's hitting from half court off the dribble, and then you finally move a little bit over, and then Zay just I know, but he's soaring. All I learned last week, he just got to cook. You can't play all day. You can't get off your back. We just got set. I'll go there. I'll be as physical as I can. All right. I'll shoot this. You know what I'm saying? If people get a lane, people get a lane. So I get it. Yeah, you never know. Boy, turnover. That's what I mean. I got it. I was open left. Like, come on, right? I got it. Yeah, I don't know. But I can't go. But no. I got to get a bucket of ice cream. It's not great. I just. That was good. But really good players that could break that separation. And that's what made it tough. So I think if Reese can stay attached, she'll be fine. And he kind of just gives up that space. Gives it up. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm telling y'all, hey, it's a different Rob, man. see Reese get to it here.
Yeah, they played it.
Yeah. He does it because they're hand checking though. That's why I never called it.
I mean, you know, this shit is exaggerated. I'm like, it's exaggerated.
You don't,
I don't think it's.
if you don't want to get shouldered, like back up.
I hit one kid. I hit one.
For as long as he
Get
lasts.
back.
Then he hit a three and they turned him into a screener.
You heard it. You heard it. You heard it, man.
You said,
Huh? That's how he is.
He want Reese again.
After what that motherfucker did yesterday. After what he did yesterday.
So they're hunting Reese, and at some point, like you can't run away from it. Just got to get attached. Maybe use the foul here. Maybe use the foul here if you're Reese. Yeah, almost two. He should have shot. I think Zay probably the best in space at that. I saw that when y'all played in the 5-on-5. Get 2 feet in the key and get that ball moving. Sure.
Zay could really
You're really good. And I know LP won the MVP of that, but when I was watching it, I only watched the first 3 games, I think it was, obviously. But Zay, like, without him, like, y'all's offense is super stagnant.
Yeah, with that, also, we had so much yards. Yeah, Zay, yeah, LP.
Mitty, Dooley, Dom.
Holy God. That's 8 people that play the point guard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has kind of like dig in a little bit. There was times where Zay was playing the 3, I was playing the 4 kind of thing. It just be like that. But I think we had so much IQ as a unit. It was gonna be hard. We had some growing pains. That was our first time. I think any of these guys ever played together on an actual team. So we had a little bit of growing pains. Luckily, we all were pretty unselfish.
Y'all figured every game out as the game was going on. Yeah. Get you one.
There you go. That's the intention.
God, I mean, King's strong, but
Got all hand checks on me. Yeah, that's good. That's what he do.
that's nice. I knew this game was gonna be good. I didn't know. I didn't know how good it would be. Just point for point.
What do you got? We gonna win this game.
I mean, how it's going right now. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it's Funky versus Rob right now. So it's like whichever one's on a hot streak by the end. You know? Neither team has an answer for Funky, neither team has an answer for Rob. Shit. He just had to grab it. He just grabbed it. I'd have done the same thing. Time out. Even now, I like that. Coach, how they're going to guard the splits, all that communication.
Right up.
That defense that far better than I thought it would.
I think you gotta probably go a little bit long, a little bit early, like right here. So that's just That's the shot I think was raised out there. You know, you don't guard him. I think if that's not guarding, I think he did a good job initially.
If you just let him walk down. Success.
Yeah, see that she's up. That's right.
God.
We count unlimited drills. We count unlimited drills. That's my guy, he hoop. That motherfucker hoop.
What are we watching?
This is like, I think this one he must play with. This is shit. Threes is shit.
The only thing stopping Rob right now is him just like getting off the ball and getting a breather.
Oh, it's just like freedom.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing Rob miss or nothing. He just passed it up and get a breather. That's the only thing keeping him from finishing this game out.
Gotta see if guys. Like I said, I think if they got a chance, that guy was. That guy was.
You get Lat, Zay, and Key missing mid-range jump shots.
I'm gonna say two very efficient duration. Okay.
This is first miss in a while. I think
Is that Lat? I think that's it.
yeah, he puts a Lat. But I think because he hasn't been kicking it out, now people starting to crash. So yeah, it's just that team chemistry stuff. Crash bar. Look at it. He just don't want. It's too easy. He just don't want to take it easy. I don't think that was a foul over there.
I didn't see. I don't know if he tripped or the team.
I mean, they were both physical as hell. I just think Rob's physicality, and the difference with Key, he'll always match the level of the other person playing. So we've seen that time and time again. So if he's physical, he'll get physical. So I think Rob is super physical. He doesn't want to expect to keep do it back. Shit. Fomby tried to throw it against the wall. King was right there.
Damn.
Harry Potter, the full cast audio editions. Listen on Audible.
U.S. We delivered. This Dollarita is back. The Dollarita. Happy birthday, America.
Razor bumps? Get a shave with a touch of aloe. Venus Extra Smooth Sensitive.
Northern Tool and Equipment. Get serious.
It's like they're not in rhythm. Never. And they never miss mid-range jump shots. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. Just like we were yesterday. Here we go. There we go.
See if they can make a run. We can farm to have.
That's where we see to stay. Just stay attached. Stay attached. He keeps like what do you say? He keeps backing up, and he just didn't understand. He just got to the whole time. He is going to cross you. He is going to create separation, but he's doing that to everybody. Like you just got to be like he just cross out.
Did I
difference is they don't stop moving.
Let's go slide to the corner. All right, well, that was
Like this, they ice the screen, and now you give up a.
Really, this DB that play basketball.
Uh-oh. Here it goes.
Hey, it's who? It's who? Who is it?
We needed those. But again, those guys aren't rhythm. They're not getting many touches, you know. That's on the downfall of playing agency in person. It's been Tommy and Rob. They probably got 7 stops and 7 points.
As far as storylines go, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think they won. Looks like it's leading up to having the summer too.
God, holy shit. Here they go. They covered so much space. Damn. Oh! Got away with a couple.
That's your
Oh,
over.
he gotta shoot those. It's good defense. Like if you're playing against a Zay, a Rob, like you're playing against those guys. You could catch a shoot, you just gotta take it. Like because it won't get easy.
I ain't gonna lie. You gotta get past that with speed. All that patience, work, big enough, strong enough, and fast enough to get to it.
Oh my God, defense. That's hey, we live with those. We live with those.
I'm on the fucking ball.
All right, hey, give him the ball.
Yeah, ball!
Oh my God, defense. That's hey, we live with those. Hey, give him the ball. Give him the ball. You heard him. He said, I want the fucking ball.
Probably be cooking, bro. That's their one, yeah. This one was slow.
Oh, hey. Defense bad. And he hit him with the Jordan on the Knicks 3 times in a row.
Yes. Limited drills, man. Sage play time. Tough. Just some tough shit. Great shot.
That didn't need to help in there, but you never know with Zay, like, you know, you probably always feel like you gotta help.
I mean, that's strong shot. You know, 3 like this.
Yeah. Come on, pick it up down there.
Oh! No threes.
I've seen this way too many times. Save for game. I've seen this way too much. And there we go. I've seen it way too much. I've seen it way too much. You know, the beauty about being able to get to the bucket whenever you want is you can plan ahead when you're going to shoot a 3. And I think Zay sees those moments and he knows when he gets the rebound and when he already knows, like, all right, I'll shoot this 3.
Hey, y'all, man, that's the game, man. Final score 50-43. That was a good bump. Man, how you think y'all did out there? I mean, y'all won, so it can't be too bad, but what you think?
Man, but went through obstacles, bro. You know what I'm saying? God got us going. I tried to do anything to win for real. Shot got rolling at the end, but yeah, they was rolling. So I was just trying to play defense, get rebounds, whatever we had to do.
Good morning, Reese. What you like out there?
I was trying to win the game, bro. Play my role. You know what I'm saying? I'm battling through something, so that's cool.
I feel that Rob, bro. You look like fucking the Terminator out there, bro. What was different between yesterday and today?
Sleep. Man, I was outside, man. I'm tripping, y'all. No more doing that when I come out here. I gotta stay locked in. Like I told you earlier today, but I can't cheat this shit, man. That shit don't pay off. I was mad at myself yesterday. I ain't got no excuses. That's accountability on me. I gotta come out here and play today hard, man. Can't cheat the grind.
Good luck, man. Good dub, man. Rob gotta be MVP of that game, man. He was frying, getting active, man. Let me know what y'all think of the series so far. Comment below. Make sure you go get some merch, bro. Look. OTD merch, we got the best merch out right now. If there's another platform with better merch, nigga, let me know, man. And I'm gonna beat their ass, man.
My name is Denise. And I like to hide blonde hair in my husband's underwear, specifically in the butt crack part, and then accuse him of cheating. Yeah, no, it's not funny. She thinks she got me, and I'm not gonna lie, she did. She got me in the last video. But today, Team Isaiah, we're gonna be taking a major W. We're gonna be fooling her. We're gonna be getting a nice little reaction out of her. We're gonna be doing something weird. Okay? As you guys can see by the title and thumbnail of the video, today your boy is gonna be eating baby food on the sofa while we catch up on Love Island. Today, those are the plans. Right now, she's showering, she's getting ready for the day, whatever, doing her thing, and we're going to be watching Love Island. I think we're behind like 2 episodes. There's a certain someone that I want her to go home after this will be long. So I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not going to say any names because y'all might disagree with me and y'all might just start hating me. We're going to be chilling on the sofa. We're going to be catching up on Love Island. Before we actually start watching the show, I'm going to go ahead and babe, hold up. Boy needs a snack. And I'm gonna go get this baby food. We have apple, strawberry, banana. We have apple, banana, oatmeal, and then we have strawberry, banana, yogurt. So I'm gonna grab one of these. Not sure. I'm probably gonna do the apple, strawberry, banana because I'm not gonna lie, that sounds really good. We're gonna go put all this stuff in the pantry. Whoops. When it's time, I'm gonna go to the pantry, take it out. Your boy's gonna start rubbing down on some baby food. So if you guys are ready for today's video, comment down below. Team Isaiah all day, every day. Now let's get into it.
You ready to watch the Love Island?
Bro, you took forever. I could have finished the whole episode by myself.
You are not the episodes are like an hour and a half. There's no way. There's no way you would have finished that.
Exactly.
There's no way. Then that is lying.
How many episodes are left in the season?
I think there's only like 2.
No.
We have lots of them there. They're not out yet.
We're behind 2 episodes.
Yeah, we're behind. We have to watch the reunion and the episode before that.
When did we leave off? Do you remember?
I don't really know. I gotta watch the little thing.
Okay.
Alright.
Nene.
Let's start.
Nene, you want to be done from the villa?
Nene.
They win 100K?
Yeah. But they like at the end they choose to split like
You can mess with my boyfriend and get away with it?
I don't have that pretty little face of yours, and not even the janitor would take you to prom.
This is your daughter, Bree.
At the beginning of the movie, a teenage girl is being wheeled into a delivery room. She screams through contractions while her mother stands beside her, not as comfort, but as enforcer. When the cry of a newborn finally fills the room, The nurses move too fast. The baby is lifted away before the mother can even see her face. The girl reaches out, voice cracking, begging just to hold her. Her own mother nods quietly to the staff. The doors swing closed, and the girl is left alone with nothing but the sheets and a silence that will sit inside her chest for the next 20 years. That girl grows up to become a woman named Laura. She has a husband named Michael, a teenage daughter named Skylar, and a life that, from the outside, looks exactly like something worth protecting. On an ordinary evening, the three of them are at the dinner table, laughing, teasing each other, existing in that easy warmth that only comes from years of being a real family. Then the doorbell rings. A young woman stands on the porch, polite, slightly awkward. She says she is looking for the Andersons. Laura tells her no, she has the wrong house. The girl apologizes and walks away, but something tightens in Laura's chest, because there are no Andersons on this street. There never have been. Skylar suggests the stranger will probably come back later with friends in masks to murder them all. Michael tells her to stop watching so many horror movies. Laura tries to laugh it off, but she doesn't sleep well that night. The next morning, the girl is back. No story about the Andersons this time. She looks Laura straight in the eye. I'm your daughter.
I'm your daughter.
Laura's world tilts on its axis. The girl says her name is Bree. She was raised by a family called the Hogans. She found Laura through an organization that helps adopted children locate their biological parents. Laura, hands trembling, pours herself a drink she doesn't usually have before noon and tells Bree what she has never been able to say out loud. She never wanted to give the baby up. Her own parents made that decision without her consent, and she has not spoken to them since the day they did it.
My parents did that without my consent, and I never forgave them for that. Can I hug you?
By the end of that conversation, mother and daughter are holding each other on the porch. Something broken, for the first time in 20 years, feels like it might be on its way to being whole. Laura doesn't question the timing. She doesn't think too hard about the story. She has been waiting for this for 2 decades, and she is not going to ruin it with doubt. The very next day, Michael takes a call from a crying Laura while he is at work. He races home to find detectives already standing in the living room. Laura's parents have been found dead at their home. Carbon monoxide from a faulty furnace pipe. The detective adds, almost gently, that foul play has not been ruled out. Did anyone have reason to harm them? Laura shakes her head. She hasn't spoken to her parents in nearly 20 years. She doesn't know who their friends were. She doesn't know who their enemies were. After the police leave, she tells Michael something that stays with him far longer than the news of the deaths themselves. She isn't grieving. She is angry. Angry that her parents have managed to overshadow the best week of her life, even now, even from beyond it. A woman finds her long-lost daughter. Both of her parents are dead within 48 hours. What a coincidence. Bree comes for dinner. She is gracious and warm, the kind of guest who makes a family feel like they have been waiting for her without realizing it. She compliments the house, laughs at Michael's jokes, and exists in the room with a practiced ease that is almost too comfortable. Michael asks where she went to school, Memorial High, 30 minutes away. He has never heard of it. She tells them how surreal it is to finally meet her birth mother. When Skylar admires her nails, Bree offers to do hers, and the two girls disappear upstairs. Upstairs, it is easy between them. Stories about school, about boys, about nothing in particular that turns into something real faster than Skylar expected. Then Bree mentions, quietly, that she has always wanted a sister. Skylar tilts her head. But you have one.
I always wanted a sister. I thought you said you had a sister. You know, by blood.
It lingers in the air a second longer than it should. Skylar notices, files it away. Over dinner, Bree offers to pick Skylar up from school the next day. Laura is immediately delighted. Michael, who has been watching this stranger slot herself into his family with an ease he cannot quite put his finger on, is not. I'm not sure that's a great idea.
Bree, that's really nice. I'm not sure if that's a great idea.
Laura gives him a look that closes the conversation. He drops it. For now. The next afternoon, Skylar is cornered in the school parking lot by a girl named Chloe. Chloe is the kind of person who picks her targets carefully and makes sure there is an audience when she moves. She accuses Skylar of flirting with her boyfriend, threatens to enjoy the beating she is about to deliver. Then Bree pulls up. The shift in Chloe's expression is immediate. Not fear exactly. Something closer to confusion. The instinct that the situation has just changed in a way she cannot name yet. Bree tells Skylar to wait in the car. Skylar does. And what happens next, she does not see from behind the glass. Bree walks up to Chloe without hurrying. She drops her to the ground before Chloe knows what is happening. Then she leans in close enough that no one else can hear. And she tells her in a voice that never once rises above a murmur that she will be watching. and that if Chloe ever looks in Skylar's direction again, she will carve up her pretty little face so badly that not even the janitor would take her to prom. Every word is delivered with the eerie, unhurried calm of someone who is not performing a threat. She is making a promise, and Chloe can feel the difference. Nicely done, except nothing about that was nice. That evening, Chloe's father shows up at the front door, furious. His daughter came home with bruises and a story she will not tell. Bree appears and handles him herself, quiet voice, dangerous precision. She tells him his daughter has been targeting Skylar for months. She apologizes if her tone earlier came across as too harsh. The man, somehow, backs down and leaves. Laura watches from the hallway with something close to awe on her face. Michael watches from the same hallway with something that looks much more like dread. That night, he tells Laura what has been sitting in his chest since the first time he saw that girl on their porch. They don't know her. They don't know what she is capable of. Laura, in the middle of the most emotionally significant stretch of her adult life, refuses to hear it. Bree deserves a place at this table. Bree deserves a family. The argument ends without resolution, and the feeling in Michael's chest does not go anywhere. Michael organizes a backyard barbecue. A few colleagues, the lawyer he works with, an ordinary Saturday afternoon that is supposed to signal that things are fine and normal and under control. Laura is happy. Skylar is somewhere between wary and warming up, and Bree moves through it all like she has been a part of this family for years, helping in the kitchen, laughing easily, saying exactly the right things to exactly the right people. His colleague Gareth shows up. Gareth, who has quietly been doing some digging of his own. At the drinks table, Gareth finds her. He tells her, without raising his voice, that part of his job is knowing how to actually use the internet. He has found things that don't match the story she has been telling his family. He knows she hasn't been honest. She smiles, excuses herself, waits. Later, Gareth steps away to find a bathroom. The one inside is occupied. He slips out to the side yard. The afternoon is still. The trees are quiet. He doesn't hear her behind him. By the time he turns, it is already over. She brings a rock down hard on his head, and Gareth crumples into the grass. She drags him into the shed at the back of the yard, closes the door, and tidies herself up without rushing. Then she walks back to the patio, smiles at Skylar, and asks if she needs any help in the kitchen. When Michael asks about Gareth later, she is completely unbothered. "Oh, we already met." He said he was heading out, called his Uber. The lie comes off her tongue like she has said it 1,000 times. Who could have predicted that? Nobody's still standing at that barbecue. That was the entire problem. Michael watches her across the yard. Quietly, without saying a word to Laura, he pulls the lawyer aside before he leaves. He needs a confidential background check on Bree Hogan. Just look. Don't say anything to Laura. 2 days later, the detectives come back. The death of Laura's parents was not an accident. A neighbor saw a young woman near the property on the day they died. One detective walks through the yard during the visit, glances toward the shed, sees nothing obvious. They thank Michael for his time and go. Their car parks across the street and stays there. Then the background check arrives. Bree Hogan, adopted 1996, Memorial High School. Everything matches. Every detail confirmed. Michael exhales for the first time in 2 weeks. She's clean. You owe me a drink. He was wrong. He let his instincts get ahead of the facts. He almost relaxes. What he doesn't know, what nobody at that barbecue knows, is that the same night, upstairs, something happened. Skylar and Bree were talking. Bree told a story about her biological sister, Jessica. Always jealous. Always acting out because the family had poured everything into Bree from the start, overcompensating for the adoption until Jessica felt erased in her own home. Jessica escalated. Their parents eventually had her committed to a mental institution. Bree says she doesn't like talking about it. She reaches for her bag. Skylar reaches in first, looking for nail polish. Her fingers close around something metal instead. She pulls it out slowly. A simple ring. An engraving inside the band. Eleanor. Something cold moves through her. She doesn't know why. Not yet. The next evening at dinner, Laura announces she wants to give Bree her own room in the house. She expects smiles. Skylar, very carefully, asks her mother what her grandmother's name was.
Hey, Mom, what was Grandma's name again?
Eleanor? What made you ask me about her? Did Bree say something to you?
Skylar doesn't show her what she found. She just says it is too soon for the room. Laura, hurt, leaves the table without another word. Michael watches his daughter, but does not push. Skylar goes upstairs and stays online until late. She finds the Hogan family's address. The next morning, without telling anyone, she drives there alone. A kind woman named Elizabeth Hogan opens the door. Skylar introduces herself as Bree's half-sister, and Elizabeth invites her in. She confirms the adoption. confirms that Bree had been searching for her birth mother, confirms that the absences were starting to make sense now. She describes Bree as private, honest to a fault, always quietly looking for something. When Skylar brings up Jessica, Elizabeth's expression shifts. Jessica had serious problems that ran deep. Jessica no longer lives with them. She brings out a photograph. 2 girls, both smiling at the camera. Skylar looks at the face she recognizes and feels something in her chest, unclench. The same eyes, the same face. The girl she has been staying up at night worrying about is right there in the picture. Perfectly real, perfectly legitimate. Maybe she has been wrong. Maybe she has been letting her imagination run away with her this whole time, building something dark out of a ring and a bad feeling. And then the front door opens. A young woman walks in.
Hi, I'm Bree.
Skylar goes completely still. The girl in the doorway is not the girl who has been painting her nails. The girl in the doorway is the one in the photograph, standing next to a darker-eyed girl that Skylar now understands she has been calling Bree for 3 weeks. The one who dropped Chloe in a parking lot. The one who put a man in a shed. The one sitting in her mother's kitchen right now. She points to the photograph with fingers that are not quite steady. She asks Elizabeth which one is Jessica. Elizabeth points gently to the girl Skylar has been treating like a sister. Skylar runs. Back at the house, a detective has returned for a follow-up look around. No one answers the front door. He walks around the side yard, moves a bin, notices a dark stain spreading across the concrete, follows it to the shed, opens the door. He finds Gareth. He reaches for his phone. Hello, detective.
Hello, detective.
Skylar is in the car, driving too fast, dialing her mother's number. It goes to voicemail. Mom?
Mom, listen to me. Whatever you do, do not let Bree into the house. She's not who she says she is. She's her sister.
Do not let Bree into the house. She is not who she says she is. Do not let her in. Laura pulls into the driveway, sees the detective's car parked out front. The house is too quiet when she steps inside. She calls out. No answer. She takes another step toward the kitchen. The vase is already swinging. Laura wakes tied to a chair beside the pool. Her head is pounding. Her vision swims. Sitting across from her, perfectly still, is the woman she has been calling daughter for 3 weeks. Please, you don't have to do this. You have no idea what I need. None.
You don't need to do this.
You have no idea what I need. None.
Laura tries to reach her. She says she never wanted to give the baby up, that her parents made that choice, not her, that she is sorry, that she is so sorry. The woman is quiet for a moment. Then she says the thing that shifts everything. You didn't give me away. They did. But I'm not who you think I am. What comes out over the next few minutes is the truth that Laura never saw coming. This woman is not Bree. She is Jessica, the biological daughter of the Hogans, the one who felt invisible the moment her parents brought an adopted baby home and never stopped making her pay for it. Her parents poured everything into Bree, compensated until there was nothing left for Jessica. When things went wrong, she was the one blamed. When opportunities came, Bree was the one chosen. The more she fought for her place in that house, the harder they pushed her away, until they finally had her locked up. And now she is sitting across from the woman whose parents tore that baby from its mother's arms and handed it to a family that loved it more than they could ever love their own child. If it wasn't for you giving her away, I wouldn't have had to deal with any of it. I would have had all the love. For myself. You're not Bree. I wanted to be. I just wanted to know what it felt like. Laura's parents. Gareth. The detective. I took care of that, said without flinching. And then the front door crashes open. Skylar comes flying through the house, screaming her mother's name. She finds them on the patio and throws herself at Jessica. The two of them go down hard into the patio furniture. Skylar is smaller and softer, and she takes a punch to the face that nearly takes everything out from under her. She keeps going. She is not fighting for herself. She is fighting for the woman still tied to the chair behind her. She breaks free long enough to reach Laura and tear at the ropes. Jessica is already back on her feet. Both of her hands close around Skylar's throat. Skylar's vision starts to go dark at the edges. And then Laura is there. The woman who watched her infant taken from her arms in a delivery room 20 years ago. The woman who has been carrying that loss like a stone in her chest every single day since. She picks up something solid, and she swings with everything she has. Jessica drops. Sirens fill the driveway. Michael bursts in with the police. Jessica, dazed and bleeding, is dragged away in handcuffs. Laura and Skylar find each other in the wreckage of the patio and hold on. 20 years of guilt. One swing. Sometimes that is exactly how it goes. At the hospital, a detective sits with Laura and Michael and lays out what they have pieced together. Jessica Hogan, in and out of psychiatric institutions for years. She had been discharged several months before any of this began, and apparently spent those months planning every detail. She knew about Laura. She knew about the adoption. She built a story that was close enough to the truth to pass every check, including Michael's. He leaves them alone. A moment later, there is a knock at the door. A young woman is escorted in by a nurse. She stops in the doorway for just a second, like she is not quite sure how to cross it, or what she is supposed to say, or whether any of the ordinary words will hold the weight of what this moment actually is. Then she crosses it anyway. She has kind eyes and a soft smile, and she extends her hand toward Laura, then pauses and opens her arms instead. Laura looks up, and for the first time in 20 years, she sees her daughter. I wish we could have met under different circumstances. I am so sorry. For what? You gave me a life. That is something I will never forget. Laura is weeping before Bree finishes the sentence. She apologizes for everything, for the years of absence, for the silence that was never supposed to stretch this long, for the violence Bree was dragged into without ever asking to be connected to it. And Bree, with a grace that nearly undoes Laura entirely, simply thanks her. Thanks her for carrying the pregnancy through. Thanks her for choosing to give her a life, even one Laura herself could not be part of. They hold each other's hands across the hospital bed. 20 years of silence finally comes to rest. It was real. Just not the way anyone expected it to be. There is one final scene, a sterile, white-walled room. Group therapy in session. A doctor moves gently around the circle, asking if anyone has something they would like to share today. In the corner, a young woman sits with her hands in her lap. She is holding a photograph. She is scratching slowly, methodically, at one of the faces, gouging it out of the picture with her fingernail. The doctor notices. Bree, would you like to join us? She looked.
Ordinary dish soaps can leave invisible grease behind. Dawn Platinum removes 99% of invisible grease.
Is your cash just sitting there doing nothing? You might want to hear about SGov. SGov seeks to track the investment result.
What is up, YouTube? For the last 15 years of my life, I trained just like a bodybuilder, and now I'm switching things up. Currently, I'm in a phase right now where I'm working specifically on my strength. I'm trying to increase my squat, bench, and deadlift, primarily focusing on bench and deadlift. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing right now, why my program structured how it is, and you guys can take from it, hopefully some things that help. All right, so the first exercise I'm focusing on is a deficit snatch grip deadlift. So by lifting my feet off the ground on plates or platform, whatever you have, and doing a wider grip, I'm getting the longest range of motion I really can get. The snatch grip allows me to strengthen my upper back, which will help with my bench. A huge thing to address bench progress is your upper back strength, being able to lock in. Also help my posture. I'm always trying to fight my forward neck posture since I was like a kid. I've had that. I'm always trying to add that into my program where it makes sense. And again, this forces me to do a weaker load because you're not as strong and you're looking for stretch.
Hi guys, today I'm here with. I'm Elizabeth. I have a question for you. What's the secret to getting married? Truthful and honesty and great. It has to be good. Yes, number one. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Haley from Misbehave TV, and today I'm at the beach asking strangers if they would marry me.
It's Rick Edwin.
Rick Edwin, would you like to get
always here. But thanks to Purdue Global, I got my literal dream job.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Your boy Gamma back with the lovely
Juju.
Pop the Balloon.
Pop, pop.
Or
Find love.
I said you don't need it, boys and girls. You already know we're gonna have a good show today. Like the video.
Like the video.
The video. Hit that subscribe button, select all notifications. We won't miss a video like this.
That is right.
But Pop the Balloon or Find Love. What happened at all? it did happen so far, right?
So far.
They didn't pop the balloon, so they may have found love. But what would happen today? Yeah, that look, you know we always hope for, right? Come on, y'all. Go ahead and lock in and let's find out.
Okay, let's bring out our next single lady.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Your boy Gamma back with the lovely
Juju.
Pop the Balloon.
Pop, pop.
Or
Find love.
I said, get on in here, boys and girls. You already know. We're gonna have a show
Today.
Like the video.
Like it and like the video.
The video. Hit that bell notification. You won't miss a video like this.
That is right.
Pop the Balloon will find out what happened in Arizona today.
What do you think?
Let's see. I'll let it be, yeah. Way to get the show going. It's only one way to find out, right?
That's right.
Stick to that. Let's get it.
All right, let's bring out our next single lady. Hello, welcome in. What's your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis, how old are you?
I'm 25.
And where are you from?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Arizona, okay. What do you do?
That's why I keep ultra with it. It's quick, easy, and it fits right into my routine. I'm trying to get moving and beat the day. Now it's time to wake the body up.
says, Riz for the sewer rats from Shelton Dungeon. Right, okay. Ronald Reagan, 3. Project Adrenaline, 4. Put your shoes on outside. You don't want to put them on in here. All right, we got a lot of you guys. Well, this is Social Podcast Edition. So, a little bit on top of you guys. Pretty well. Good job. Good job. Yeah, doing my job. Yeah, so, guys, we were out earlier with Alex trying to catch some money, but, he's never been done, so. Yeah, right? That's right. There you go. Yeah. You might have known what was going on, or what do you think it's I don't know. I think it just got too real for him. He said he's seen pictures of another boy before, but I think this time around, it all just happened. Yeah, it's weird. I guess he didn't think it was gonna like be that fast. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how many of these videos are out there. But yeah, Russ, anything else this week? Yacht party this Saturday, going out to Lauderdale. Nova's birthday party, being lit. That's happening on Instagram. Check it out. Right? Yeah. What about you? To Mo and Bill's talking like that. So, W Friday, it's raining outside. It's like thunder and lightning, so, it's what it is. But, yeah, it's like all crazy outside. But, it's a 4-panel girls, and we got Alex Rosen. So, yeah, we'll come. All right, ladies, if you don't mind, if you're waiting, give us your name, your age, what you do for a living, dating status, and the of course, your body count. So hopefully everyone has over 18. You should.
My name is Raven. I am 20 years old.
All these
20.
And where are you from?
I'm from Illinois, actually. But we just moved down this morning.
Illinois?
Illinois.
Well, what happens in Illinois?
Nothing.
Are you like Chicago or
around that area, yeah.
And where do you go?
I do dropshipping. Do Shopify.
Nice. How long have you been on?
Not very long. We went on vacation here and then we like happened to bring this movie.
Is that your friend number?
Yes, I know.
Okay, smaller than much.
Sorry.
Highest education in the
I 1 year in college.
Are you still in school? What's your name? Are you a friend?
Yes.
Birthday girl?
No.
Alright, what's your like race?
I'm white.
Oh, okay. Super tan. I thought you were like Hispanic. Yeah, they missed me. I thought you were Mexican. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, Okay. Right. Sure. Body count?
I'm sorry. Okay. My body count is
How old are you then?
20. Yeah. 5.
Wait, 25?
5.
500. Okay. You do that? I mean, she just goes soon.
Yeah.
You mean guys? Yeah, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
I'm Lana. I'm 25. I'm from upstate New York originally, and like Syracuse. Yeah, very also up there. What I do, I have a clothing brand called Project Apparel. I just started that recently, but I'm also in school for fashion merchandising. So those two things.
Are you bringing your merch up?
No, I should have known.
So a huge platform on the way to merch. That's great.
Well, I recently moved to Florida.
Oh, I didn't even see. Wait, what's your race again?
I didn't even say it yet, but I'm mixed. I'm actually Italian and African American.
Purple.
Yeah.
You're black. Well, I didn't even notice that. You have freedom. You put more jeans on. Gotcha. So you're white and black. All right. You said you're in college. You're making what? You go to school down soon?
No, actually, I did school in New York. Oh, I go online right now, but.
Success? All right, that's good.
No.
What did you do?
No.
All right, buddy.
I won't disclose that fully, but I'll say I can count them on one hand. So,
Is it under 10?
of course, one hand.
So it's 5 of us. I was trying to get her, but okay. All right. What about you, Richard?
Ainsley.
Welcome back. Charleston White.
Thank you.
Wait, it's how do I spell it? Ainsley.
ANSLEIGH. Do I like answer all the questions?
Yes, you do.
Right.
Yeah, because it's new people, so they might not know.
Yeah, I'm 22.
22. All right. Where are you from?
South Carolina.
What do you do for work?
I'm Charleston's assistant and I make music. I also sell clothes for the girls.
I remember now. Highest education completed?
No.
Did you finish high school?
No.
No. And then relationship status?
Single.
Wait, that's again?
No.
What goes over here?
No.
Referee?
Oh, no.
And then what's your race? You identify as a dog? That's nice. I have a treat for you. You know like I need to. I already gave it to him. All right, body count.
Oh, next.
Did it go up since last show? Yeah,
No, it didn't.
So it went down?
No, it hasn't changed.
Stop the cap. All right. And you said you identify. Wait, are you white though? Besides dog? You have.
I'm like mostly Native American, but yeah, you could say that.
Can you live on a reservation?
Never tried.
Can you spell reservation?
Yeah, I actually can.
Go ahead.
What reservation?
Yeah.
Reservation. RESERVATION. Reservation.
Good job. Oh. All right. Who's up next?
Me. Hi, my friend's 22 Licious. I'm 22.
Your name is Delicious?
T-Licious.
Oh, T-Licious. Damn, all right. Let me see this one. What's the T?
What's the T?
Where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
What part of Australia?
I'm from Perth. You might not know. It's a very small city.
It's Perth. Isn't that where they arrested Philly?
Yes, it is. He was stuck there for a while.
Wait, is he free now?
I think so, because I see his Snapchat stories and he's like back in the UK.
Okay. Oh, so they're good. What do you do for work?
I'm a nursing student and I also tutor high school students.
You're a nurse? Are you a nursing student here in America or in
Australia? I'm just here on holiday.
You're a tutor in all right. Highest education level, you're in college still, right?
Yes, I'm in my postgraduate. So I finished my bachelor's degree.
Okay, so you're pursuing your master's now.
Yeah.
You guys call it postgrad.
Yeah.
Okay, you call it master's. Or postgrad, either one. Our relationship status?
Single.
All right, parents together?
Yes.
Regular over you?
Yes.
And then what's your how long you been around this with me?
It's been about a week.
I mean, shoot, nervous man, you're traveling, Australia, down under. How are you? What's your race? Are you black and white or?
I'm Kenyan and half Malaysian Chinese.
Yeah, that speaks a lot too. You want to ask a question, go on. Chris? Try your body count.
I also don't want to disclose that.
Is it that high? Because if it was low, you would have said it was
No, I
like
can count
5.
on one hand as well.
Oh, you can't.
Yes.
Wait, how tall are you, by the way?
That's what I'm 5'9".
Pretty tall. Wait, is that really tall? I thought it was tall. All right. Who's up next? Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Jasmine. I'm Jasmine. I'm 24. I'm from California, Sacramento.
Uh-oh. What do you do for work?
Well, I'm a behavioral therapist for kids and adolescents, basically.
Fresh things up, man.
I just got my master's in clinical psychology.
Do you live here in Miami or do you live in?
I stay in Wynwood.
Oh, I see you live here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
belongs to the streets. Do you help drunks?
No, I only help kids really. I work at a children's hospital.
Damn it. Yeah. I have a friend that needs some help. Yeah.
Oh, I can try.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta do it hard and rough, you know? Like,
Oh God.
yeah, hard and rough. You know. All right. Where'd you get your master's degree?
FIU.
Where'd you do your undergrad?
FIU.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's automatically accepted, right?
Yeah.
Are your parents together?
No. Divorce.
Vertical jump leap?
Yes, I have an implant in my arm.
No. Damn, you be fucking huh? I mean, implant is serious, man. God. That's your shit, man.
I just had a kid. I have a son who's 1.
Wait, can you show us?
Huh?
The implant? Oh, it's inside.
Oh, the implant. It pokes out of my arm.
Oh, your
Like-
arm. Wait, what's supposed to happen? Wait, where's the father?
Well, he might be watching. Yeah, he's supposed to tune in.
Wait, are you two together?
We're co-parenting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm
Wait.
single.
Oh, boy, you're single.
Yeah.
Wait, so who left who?
I left him.
Why? What's wrong with you?
He cheated on me while I was pregnant.
That's it? I mean, you was pregnant. You could have did worse than that. No, he could have killed somebody. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
really bad. It was in my house too. Like my house. I pay bills.
yeah, but let's go over here.
That's all. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all, man. That's all.
You didn't have a job?
He's on house arrest.
So why would you get knocked out by something who's on house arrest? And you tell children how to make decisions?
No. Well, look. He had a house arrest after.
He's a child. He had a house arrest.
No, he had a house arrest after the fact, okay? It was like 3 months after we split, and then he had a house arrest.
I don't think he goes from Mr. Goody Two Shoes to house. I don't think he goes from Mr. Goody Two Shoes to house arrest. Surely he showed behaviors that put him on house arrest at some point.
Yeah, reflex. Yeah.
Well,
You got a neck tattoo. I know you're right.
yeah.
All right. What's your race? Are you going to assume
Well,
like Hispanic?
I'm Cuban Jamaican.
No, that's right there, bro. Dang. All right. And you said you have a master's degree in what was it again?
Psychology.
Psychology. All right. What's body count? And don't lie.
17.
Okay. Wait, hold on. How old are you again?
I'm 24.
And then you had a kid recently.
Yeah, but that was like back in high school. I was like in high school, I was balling out. Like it was really bad.
Jesus, Sacramento.
Yeah.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, it was really bad.
Sacramento sucks. All right. And she's lying too, by the way. Oh, yeah.
I'm not lying.
It's definitely lying. It's always lying. Right. Yeah. Wait, is that your real hair?
No, it's a wig. I have like a ball.
Wait, that's only one. What's my girl? Really? It looks pretty clean, though. I know it's fake. Well, she's technically black and Hispanic. Yeah. Okay. Chinese. All right. No, that's all.
So she's a wigger then, with the wig on?
Yes, pretty much. Yes, pretty much. All right. What about you?
Well, this month I've been C-Murder, so y'all can call me that.
What? C-Murder what? C-Murder who? He said this month. What did he call you C-Murder?
That's my alter ego.
FBI, open up! All right, stop switching. All right, so you're C-Murder. Killer White.
Okay.
Oh, this month. Okay. So your name is C-Murder?
Sure, yeah. Today it is.
Interesting. Right, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Where are you from?
I'm from 15 minutes away from Niagara Falls, Canada.
Well, you know, St. Paul, New York. Where you from?
No, like, I guess I'll put the city on the map. St. Catharines.
Oh, I never
Represent.
St. Catharines. All right. So you're just visiting them.
Yeah, I'm on
Where do you live
vacation.
in?
I'm on vacation.
How long you been here?
We got here for 4th of July weekend, and then on the 6th we hopped on a cruise until the 10th, and then we're back. We just got back today.
Who's we?
Okay. Delicious G baby.
Oh gosh.
How's the Australian?
Yeah, I was about to say like
6 months ago. Oh yeah, long story, but 6 months ago we met in Miami, and now we're wives.
They say you can't be loving the club, but you can.
Prove that.
man, they'll come back. So did y'all get these nicknames from the streets or did y'all get these nicknames yourself?
That is a good question. I got mine from her, a friend of a friend.
Okay. They're just delusional, hyping each other up.
Something like that.
I call myself the alpha
Girl
wolf, by the
power.
way.
Girl
Self-proclaimed.
power.
I'm the alpha male, by the way, ladies.
All right. What do you do for work?
I am currently a student, but I do work part-time in retail.
Wait,
That's my
who pays for the trips?
You pay for my trips? Actually, myself, my job. Shout out them.
They work part time. But so they sponsor your trips?
No, but I live at home, so I
Oh.
don't really pay bills, so it makes it easier. Shout out mom and dad.
There you go. Wait, do they know you call it Sea Murder?
Hell no. How do they even know what that means?
Well, now they do.
Now they will.
Gee. I'm sure you're down fresh and fit. That's like me shouting out blacks and clan around.
You know what? My dad don't talk that much. He'll be mute in the background. He's an NPC.
All right. Well, he should have talked more. He would have stopped you from coming on the show.
Probably, honestly.
All right. So you're a student, and what are you majoring in then?
I'm majoring in critical criminology. I'm about to enter my 4th year.
Wait, Sea Murder?
See where I am.
That's a crazy man. That's crazy. Sea Murder.
Are you gonna work for like the RCMP or something?
Who knows? But I do love my major, so I just wanted to choose something that I was passionate about.
So you're not gonna get into law enforcement, or what are you gonna do?
God knows.
She works for the STD, not the RCMP.
All right. Relationship status?
I'm single.
Are your parents together?
Mm-hmm. Shout out them.
All right. Are they watching right now?
Hell no. I don't think my parents be on social media like that. They're not.
All right. Brother control you?
Nope.
Now, what's your race? White?
I am Bulgarian. 100%. Big up Bulgaria.
Body count? Who was the Bulgaria, bro?
It's very niche. Whoever's there, whoever's parents are Bulgarian.
All right, body count?
2.
Oh, that's Sea Murder.
Really?
No. So this trip or last trip?
2 of my whole life. 2 of my 21 years.
Oh, okay. Nah, she saying cap over there.
Really? Y'all think? That's insane.
What's the
That's
T?
Girls don't go for it's not smash, bro. Come on, man. That's bullshit. Okay, but that's fine. Who's up next? What's your name?
My name is Brian.
What's your name?
Brian.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Illinois.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay, you two came together, right? Outside of Chicago? Okay. Do you also do dropshipping?
No.
What do you do?
Well, I was a DSP, but we just moved here, so.
What's a DSP?
No, nothing. I take care of mental challenge and disabled people.
Please, I have a friend that needs help. He drinks alcohol and needs help. Kill him up.
That's 2 different things, though.
Yeah, no. He needs help.
Stupid. So you help mentally help people?
Yeah.
But you don't do that anymore? Okay. Highest education completed for you?
Diploma.
Relationship status?
See.
All right, parents together?
No.
Birth control for you?
No.
It's a like. Please.
What's your
Penis race?
Introducing the Market Street for You app. Save big and try the in-store locator. Download today.
That name on your shirt, it means something. Because
Better for Pure Joe? We got here a question, ladies. If you got into a friendship with a man, relationship with a man, what would your role be in the relationship? Also, do y'all believe in gender roles in relationships? Okay, we'll make this simple. Does how many of you guys believe in define gender roles in a relationship between a man and a woman? Or do you think that they're fluid, that you can, a man can do what a woman does, and a woman can do what a man does?
A lot of people might not like you for this, but I grew up in a Christian Marine household, so.
Okay, let's go real quick. Let's start here. Do you believe in gender roles, yes or no?
No.
You don't believe him? You think the guy can do what the girl does and vice versa? Okay, what about you?
I definitely believe in gender roles. I don't want to do what a guy does, and I'd rather be a girl. I'll just say that.
So no, yes. All right, what about you?
Yeah.
What about you? Do you believe in it?
No, I believe it could be fluid.
Well, you are from Australia. Is feminism pretty prominent in Australia?
I would say so, yes.
What about you? Oh, yeah. You said yes,
Yeah.
right? What about you? Miss Cannon?
Oh, yeah, it could be fluid. Depends on the circumstance. As all as says the economy, I guess, but you can have both.
So you're saying no, you don't believe in it?
Depends on the context, but they could be fluid, but
So no.
some gender roles are.
So no, fantastic. What about you?
Sure.
No? You don't believe in gender roles? All right, what about you?
I would say yeah.
Okay. For the girls that don't believe in gender roles, so who's going to deal with the robber who breaks in? You gonna deal with it?
Yeah.
I'll have the
What about you?
Closest to like a bat and like the rubber.
Okay. So you're totally cool with you taking care of the robber if he breaks in?
I mean, I'm scared shitless, so.
What about you, Canada? You're okay with you taking care of the robber?
I mean, I have an alarm system at home, so.
Yeah,
let's say I'm safe.
What if they get past it?
Well, that's what my dad's for. He kills the spiders.
So you do believe in gender rules then?
Yeah, I believe in my father.
There you go. Well, what about you? You said you don't believe in gender rules. Okay, so what are you doing when someone breaks in the house?
Period.
Interesting. What about you?
No, I believe in gender roles.
Oh, yeah,
You need to take care of that.
Okay. So have you ever fought a guy before? No.
Never had to.
No.
No. What about you? It's interesting how the girls that never fought a guy, they can take it on. What about you? Yeah.
No brothers, so haven't had the chance.
It's interesting how the women that never fought a guy before are like totally. Yeah, I'll deal with the.
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll spray him. She said, I would fight a guy.
And then what's the second part of the question? Okay, so what would your role be in your relationship then? If you don't believe that gender roles are static, what would your role be then in your relationship?
I think it would be like, what do you mean? Like both? Like we can both do like.
Okay, so you split everything 50-50.
Yeah.
Both of you work.
Like
both
I
of
like
you-
doing outside things and stuff like that too. Like and like I'm not a big fan of dishes, so like he can do dishes, like, and then I'll do the grass or something, you know.
Okay, so
We
you
can,
would split roles.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, negotiate, yeah, figure it out.
Okay. What about you? You believe in gender roles. What about you? What'd you do?
I believe in 50-50 in the sense of I don't mind doing the cooking, but he has to do the cleaning, or like he has to do the ironing, you know. But we're both breadwinners. Like we should both be working, we're both paying the bills, that kind of situation. But every circumstance is different. Each relationship is different.
What about you? Because you also believe in the 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50.
Well, you 50-50, and what about you?
Well, as a Bulgarian woman in a Balkan culture, yeah, I'm still with that. Yeah, it's pretty like a conservative culture, like pretty much gender roles are.
So now you believe in gender roles?
Well, because I live in Canada, I've kind of been normalized to Canadian culture, and I think it depends on the circumstance for sure. I mean, I'll do what I want to do. He can do what he wants to do. Free will.
So whatever he wants to do, you can do. You still do the same.
Yeah,
It's gonna work out great.
So if he tells you to make a sandwich, you don't have to do it.
if I want to, I will, but if I don't, he can make his own. He can make me a sandwich too. Why not? Who better cook than me?
Who are you, man?
I see why y'all say that, man. Interesting. You guys think, and we can start here and then work our way. Do you think feminism is good? Do you think it's helped women out? Life them in a better place?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So, how many of you guys think feminism is good? Raise your hands if you think feminism is good.
Just a joke about it online. It's so entertaining to me, but not society wise.
All right, hold on. Let me just raise some hands. If you think it's good. Raise some hands real quick. Pretty much almost all girls. Okay, why do you think it's good?
Does feminism not mean women are equal to men?
Well, that's what
They're equal
started this, yeah.
rights?
That's what started this.
What is it now?
We can get into that, but you think it's good in general?
Yes,
Why?
because I think women and men are equal. I think we all deserve equal.
But didn't you say second degree living generals?
It's equality. I believe in equity.
So when the rubber comes, you got this time, right?
That's not what I said.
That's what he said.
Is feminism not like we all deserve the same?
Well, you know, men and women can be the same and different. You know, the guy can handle the robber and the female can cook, but 2 + 8 = 10, and 5 + 5 = 10 too. They're both different values and different things, but they equal the same thing.
Yeah.
So coming together as one, as a puzzle piece, both sides are equal.
Is that not equity?
Well, your definition of equity is different than what equity actually means. You know, when they say equity is like, well, the female can do exactly what the man does, but no, 5 + 5.
That's not what I said.
Well, right. But I'm saying gender roles, though they're different, it still is an equal partnership. You know, that's my point. Like, doing different things to each come together and figure out the household, figure out who's going to win the money. It's still equal.
But I don't think gender roles is black and white. I think it's per person, per relationship. It's different.
Well, but, biology also exists. Like, I love working. I love traveling the country. I love, all these court dates. And, my fiance asked me, well, how do you handle all of this stuff? And I can't do it. I couldn't handle any of this, blah, blah, blah. And, if she was to manage 20 people like I do, she'd fucking have like a panic attack. But if I were to pick up like our bedroom, I'd have a panic attack, or like even wash one dish. I'd rather just like figure out all these court dates, catch all these pedos, and even clean one dish. And that's just how we're wired. But, I think she's just as equal as me when it comes to our, our family, our future family, and our partnership. So, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
All right, so you think feminism is good because equality. All right, what about you? I think you have the wrong term for equity. That's fine. Oh, what about you? Why is it good?
Because men have like, I don't even know.
So you think it's good because you don't know?
Yeah. That's all I got.
Equality. Equity.
It's just equity.
I know, I'm controlling this one.
All right, so yes, because
I love being there.
So you can't tell us why you think feminism is good.
No, I don't got anything.
John, for this question. So you're too what?
I'm too blonde for this question.
Too blonde?
Do you think you should be able to vote? Okay, so should a crackhead pedophile who's masturbating in front of children in the middle of San Francisco have the same vote as you? Why not? Isn't everybody equal? So do you think all votes should be the same then, or do you think some people should have more say than others? Okay, so you don't believe in feminism then, or you don't believe in true equality? Because I don't believe pedos should vote, but they're able to vote. So do you think more people should have? Do you think some people should have some more say than others with voting and stuff like that? Okay, good. I hope we can all come to this agreement to fix this country slowly but surely.
What about you? Do you think feminism is good? Yes or no?
I think the concept of feminism, I think the idea is there, but historically how it's been handled might be a little bit problematic. But I think like for the most part, yeah, like I'm obviously not going to sit here and be like, no, feminism is bad. I think feminism is good, but
okay, tell me why you think it's good.
why do I think it's good?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't I think it's good?
I'm asking what you think is good about it.
Well, I like that women are sticking up for their rights. I like that women are advocating for themselves.
Which rights do you like they're sticking up for?
All of them, like voting rights,
Okay, go on.
labor rights, all the rights, charter rights.
Do you think women are happier in the workplace, or do you think they're happier at home?
It depends on the woman, honestly. Because if you're passionate about your profession, obviously you like the job you're working in if you take a high interest in it. And then there's some people that don't like to work. There's some people that don't have a passion.
Would you prefer to work or be a stay-at-home?
Well, I love being a stay-at-home daughter, but I do like school. So if I can find something I'm passionate about, I'll do it. I'll take it. But I do like to also be home. I'll do what it takes. How about that?
Confusing. Okay.
From Smart IPL. Enjoy 2 years free from hair and hair removal. Dunkin' $6 meal deal. 2 delicious wake up wraps. And a medium iced or hot coffee.
Hi, this is Crystal from United Healthcare. I advocate for our members, but my true satisfaction.
What about you? What are your thoughts? Do you think feminism is good?
Yes
Agree?
and no.
Okay. Why, you tell me why you think it is and why you think it's bad.
I mean, we've come far as women. I mean, based off, the past, we were all in the kitchen, not able to vote. Shit, it was a lot. Men used to beat women repeatedly back then. Once they still do, don't get it wrong. But back then it was normalized. Like it was really like if you call the cops on your husband, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. So I feel like nowadays as women we have become stronger in that sense. We fought for our rights to vote. We fought for a lot of rights. That way.
Okay, now what's the bad? So stronger is good because you guys have rights. And now why is it bad?
It's bad only because some women take it to such an extreme. Like it's just they take it to a serious meaning. Like they do a little too much where they're like, oh well, us as women we should be able to do like certain jobs. Like you have to realize like men they have more power than us women physically. A lot of women they want everything to be equal. It cannot be like that in the world. That's why men are called men, women are called women. They have sprints, like certain men have
sprints.
Yeah, they have. I can't really pronounce my accent.
Fair.
But
So basically for you think men are superior.
we all have our different qualities.
So women are weaker than men, right?
It's not that they're weaker, but in some sense, like physically, like some women can be weaker than men. So I feel like in that sense and I feel like as a woman where I come from traditionally, I feel like as a woman we should stay feminine. It's just my opinion because
no problem. So you think it's good and bad? Good because women have rights, but bad because women some take it to the extreme. What about you?
I think it
Slow King.
Most people go missing and nobody ever finds out what really happened. I used to think that was just a sad fact of life. Now I know it's something worse because I was one of the people who found out. My brother Danny went missing on Tuesday in October, 3 years ago. He was 26 years old, lived alone in a small apartment in Knoxville, Tennessee, worked at an auto parts warehouse about 8 miles from his place. He drove the same route every single day. He knew every gas station, every shortcut, every pothole on that road. And then one day he just didn't show up. His supervisor called me because I was listed as his emergency contact. I remember the exact moment I picked up the phone, sitting in my car outside a grocery store in Nashville. The guy's voice was flat, almost bored, like he'd made this kind of call before. He said Danny hadn't clocked in, hadn't called out, wasn't answering his phone. He asked me if I knew anything. I did it. I drove to Knoxville that same evening. Danny's apartment building was a plain, two-story brick complex off a side street near the highway. I had a spare key. I let myself in, and the first thing I noticed was that nothing looked wrong. His dishes were clean. His TV remote was on the armrest of the couch exactly where he always left it. His phone charger was plugged in by the bed, but his phone wasn't on. His wallet was on the kitchen counter. His car keys were on the hook by the door. His car was still in the parking lot. That's when my stomach dropped all the way to the floor. I called the police that night, filed a missing persons report. The officer who took my statement was polite but not urgent. He said adults go missing all the time, that Danny probably just needed some space, that most cases like this resolve themselves within 48 hours. He told me to go home and wait. I couldn't go home. I got a motel room 2 blocks from Danny's apartment and spent the next 3 days making calls, putting up flyers, knocking on doors. His neighbors didn't know much. One older woman on the ground floor said she thought she'd heard his door open around 5 in the morning the day he disappeared, but she wasn't sure. She said she hadn't heard anything after that. 5 in the morning. Danny never woke up before 7. Never. By the end of the first week, the police started taking it more seriously. A detective named Hargrove got assigned to the case. He was a quiet, methodical man. He asked me questions I hadn't even thought to ask myself. Was Danny in debt? Did he use drugs? Did he have any conflicts with anyone, any arguments, anything that seemed off in the weeks before he went missing? And that's when I started thinking back harder. About a month before Danny disappeared, I visited him for a weekend. We watched football, grilled out on his little concrete balcony, the usual. But at one point, he got a phone call and stepped inside to take it. When he came back out, his whole demeanor had shifted. He was quieter, distracted. I asked him who it was, and he said just a guy from work. He changed the subject. I told Hargrove about that call. He had Danny's phone records pulled. The number was from a prepaid phone, untraceable. That same number had called Danny 11 times in the month leading up to his disappearance. 11 times. Hargrove started looking into Danny's coworkers. Most of them cooperated easily. But one man, a guy named Curtis, who worked alongside Danny in the warehouse for about 4 months, had quit his job 8 days before Danny went missing. He'd left no forwarding address. His rental agreement at his apartment had ended and he hadn't renewed it. He had no social media presence, no credit history, nothing. Hargrove tracked down the warehouse manager and pulled whatever employment records existed on Curtis. The name on the paperwork came back to a social security number belonging to a man who had died in 2009. Curtis wasn't his real name. Nobody knew who he actually was. The investigation started widening. Hargrove connected with a federal task force that had been quietly working a pattern of missing persons across 4 states, all men between the ages of 22 and 35, all living alone, all disappearing without signs of struggle, always with their wallets left behind. Wallets left behind. Hargrove told me that detail was significant. He said it wasn't about robbery. Whoever was doing this didn't want money. He wouldn't tell me what he thought they did want. But the way he said it, the way he stopped talking and just looked at his desk for a second before changing the subject, told me enough. Danny's case got linked to 6 other missing men. 6. And those were just the ones they knew about. 2 months after Danny disappeared, hikers found human remains in a heavily wooded area about 40 miles outside of Knoxville. It took 3 more weeks to get a positive identification. It was Danny. I won't tell you everything Hargrove told me about what the medical examiner found. Some of it I've never even repeated out loud. What I will tell you is that Danny had not died quickly, and that wherever he had been kept in those final weeks of his life, it was not anywhere close to where his body was found. Curtis, or whoever he really was never caught. The task force is still active. As far as I know, they have a name now, a real one, and a face from a grainy parking lot camera outside Danny's apartment building from the night he disappeared. But they haven't found him. I think about that a lot. I think about the fact that somewhere out there, a man is still walking around free, still living some version of a normal life after what he did to my brother. I think about how easy it was for him to disappear, how easy it was for Danny to disappear. And I think about how none of Danny's neighbors ever noticed anything, how his car sat in that parking lot for days before anyone thought to question it, how a man using a dead person's name worked in a warehouse for 4 months and nobody caught him. Have you ever gotten a text from someone who had been missing for over 2 weeks? I had, and I still don't have a full explanation for it. This happened about 3 years ago. I was 26, working a warehouse job, and my closest friend at the time was a guy named Derek. We'd known each other since high school, the kind of friend who shows up when your car breaks down at 2 in the morning, no questions asked. That was Derek. So when he went quiet one week, I didn't panic right away. Derek had a habit of disappearing into himself when life got heavy. He'd go dark for a few days, stop answering texts, skip plans. I'd learned not to take it personally. I figured he was just going through one of those stretches again, but this time felt different. It started on a Tuesday. I texted him about grabbing food that weekend. No reply. I texted again Thursday. Still nothing. By Saturday, I was calling instead of texting, and his phone just rang out every single time. No voicemail, no callback, nothing. I reached out to a few mutual friends. Nobody had heard from him either. One of them mentioned that Derek had seemed off the last time they'd seen him, about 2 weeks before. Said he looked like he hadn't slept in days. Said he was cagey about what was going on. Kept changing the subject when anyone asked. That was enough for me to drive over to his apartment. He lived about 15 minutes from me, on the second floor of a small complex near the edge of town. When I got there, his car was in the lot. That caught my attention immediately because Derek drove everywhere. He wouldn't walk 2 blocks to a gas station. If his car was there, he should have been there too. I knocked on his door. Nothing. Knocked again, harder. Nothing. I pressed my ear to the door and listened. The apartment was completely quiet. I went to the building manager, explained I was a close friend and I was worried. He was hesitant at first, but I guess something in how I was talking got through to him. He agreed to do a welfare check with me. When he unlocked the door, we stepped inside. The apartment looked almost normal at first glance. A jacket thrown over the back of the couch. His work boots near the front door. But the kitchen light was on in the middle of the afternoon. His phone charger was still plugged in. And on the kitchen counter, there was a half-eaten bowl of cereal that had been sitting there long enough that the milk had completely evaporated and left a dry residue around the edges. Derek was gone. The building manager called the police. I stood in that apartment, not really knowing what to do with my hands, looking at the small details of my friend's life sitting right where he'd left me, as if he just stepped out to grab something and was about to walk back through the door any second. The police came, took a report, asked me questions I didn't have great answers to. Last contact, mental state, whether he had any reason to leave suddenly. I told them everything I knew. They said they'd look into it. I could hear in their tone that they weren't particularly alarmed. I drove home that night feeling hollow. Then, 4 days later, I got a text from Derek's number. It came in at 11:47 at night. I was half asleep when my phone lit up on the nightstand. I grabbed it, saw his name on the screen, and sat straight up. The message just said, I made a mistake. I stared at it. My hands were shaking. I called back immediately. The phone rang twice, then went to a generic voicemail that wasn't even Derek's voice. I texted back, asking where he was, asking if he was okay, asking him to please call me. No response. Nothing after that. I called the detective who had taken the report and told him about the message. He said they'd look into it, and he sounded more interested this time. But here's what made it worse. When investigators later pulled the phone records, that text had been sent from a cell tower located over 40 miles outside of Knoxville, deep in a rural part of Anderson County. There was nothing out there. No town, no business, no address tied to any of Derek's known contacts. Nothing that made any sense, and Derek's phone was never found. They searched the area around that cell tower. It took 3 weeks. They brought in volunteers, dogs, all of them. They found a campsite that had been used recently, tucked off a fire road about 2 miles from the main highway. A sleeping bag, a folded piece of paper with no writing on it, a water bottle, but no Derek, no phone, no answers. What I've had to sit with is that message. I made a mistake, that's it. 4 words, and I've turned them over in my mind 1,000 times since then. A mistake doing what? A mistake trusting someone. A mistake going somewhere. A mistake that led to where he was when he sent that, alone in the dark in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. What I do know is that Derek did not just choose to walk away from his life. That wasn't who he was. His car was still there. His boots were still there. His entire life was still there. People who leave on purpose usually take something. Derek took nothing, and someone or something had his phone 40 miles away more than 2 weeks later. I still have that text thread saved on my phone. I've never deleted it. Some nights I scroll up through all our old messages, all the dumb back and forth, all the plans we made, and then I get to that last one at the bottom. I made a mistake, and I close the app and I put my phone face down on the table and I just sit there. Because no matter how many times I read it, I still don't know what he was trying to tell me. I don't know if he was reaching out for help. I don't know if he was saying goodbye. I don't know if someone else sent it. And the not knowing is the thing that never goes away. Most people think finding a missing person is a good thing, and it is, until you realize you probably shouldn't have found them. This happened to me in the summer of 2019. I've told this story to a few people close to me, and every single time the room goes quiet. Not the comfortable kind of quiet, the kind where everyone's trying to figure out if they would have done the same thing I did. I was driving back from a camping trip alone. No big group, no friends. Just me and my truck, and about 6 hours of empty highway ahead of me. It was around 9 in the evening when I pulled off the main road to stop at a gas station. One of those old ones with flickering lights and a bathroom key attached to a wooden block. The kind of place you stop at, get what you need, and leave fast. That's when I saw her. She was standing near the edge of the parking lot. A woman, maybe late 30s, wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. She had no bag, no phone in her hand. She was just standing there, completely still, staring at the road like she was waiting for something. I almost didn't say anything. Almost. But something about the way she looked, like she hadn't slept in days, made me stop. I walked over and asked if she was okay. She turned to me slowly, like the question took a moment to reach her, and then she said something I still think about. She said, "I've been here for 2 days." I looked around. There was nothing out here. No motel, no houses nearby, just trees and road and darkness. I asked her what she meant, and she told me she had been dropped off. She didn't say by who. She just said she needed to get to Knoxville. She said she had family there. I'm not the kind of person who picks up strangers. I know the risks. But standing there looking at this woman who looked genuinely exhausted and afraid, I couldn't drive away. So I told her I'd give her a ride as far as the city. She got in without hesitation. For the first 20 minutes, she barely spoke. She just stared out the window, her hands folded in her lap, completely rigid. I tried to keep things light, asked her name, asked her where her family lived in Knoxville. She gave me a street name but stumbled over it like she had to think about it too long. I told myself she was just tired. Then she asked me something that made my stomach drop. She asked me if I had seen anything unusual when I was at the campground. I told her no, not really. Why? She went quiet for a moment and then she said, "I just wondered. There were people out there a few nights ago, moving through the trees near Miller's Creek Trail. A few of us saw them." I gripped the steering wheel a little tighter. Miller's Creek was the exact trail I had camped near. I asked her if she had been camping out there too. She said no. She said she wasn't sure how she knew about it. And then she changed the subject completely. asked me how far we were from the city, and went back to staring out the window. I pulled up my GPS and pretended to check the route. What I was actually doing was searching her name. The third result was a missing persons report filed 3 weeks earlier. A woman 36 years old, last seen leaving a family member's home in Knoxville under what the article described as concerning circumstances. The photo was small on my screen, and I couldn't look long without being obvious. But the gray hoodie, the hair, the age, it lined up. But here's what I couldn't figure out and still can't. If she was missing from Knoxville, why was she trying to get back to Knoxville? I didn't say anything. I kept driving. I kept my voice steady. I made small talk about the weather, about how empty the roads were, and the whole time my mind was moving fast, trying to figure out what I was actually dealing with. Was she a victim? Was she in danger? I didn't know. And in that truck in the dark, with her sitting 2 feet away from me, I didn't know who she was. When we reached the outskirts of Knoxville, I told her I needed to stop for gas. She nodded. I pulled into a station near the highway, and when I got out, I walked inside and calmly told the woman at the counter that I had a passenger who might be connected to a missing persons report. I gave her the name. I asked her to call the non-emergency police line. I went back to the truck, bought time, kept talking. 12 minutes later, a police cruiser pulled into the lot. What happened after that, I only knew pieces of it. The officer spoke to her outside the truck. I waited near the entrance. After about 20 minutes, one of them came over to me and her family had been notified. He thanked me for the ride and for stopping inside. He didn't tell me anything else, and I didn't push. But here's the part that I keep coming back to, the part that has never fully left me. Before the officers reached us, while I was still inside the gas station watching through the window, I saw her turn around in the truck seat and look directly at me through the glass. She didn't look scared. She didn't look relieved. She didn't look like someone who was about to be reunited with her family after weeks of being missing. She looked like she was memorizing my face. I changed my route home that night, and for the next 2 months, I kept my doors locked, my curtains closed, and I stopped camping alone. If any of these 3 stories scares you, if any part of it makes you think twice about the people around you, about the places you pass through every day, about how fast someone can just vanish without a trace, hit that subscribe button and press the bell so you never miss the next one. Drop a comment below telling me which of 3 stories hit you the hardest. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Hello, everyone. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And leave a comment with where you're from and what time you're watching. That way, YouTube will keep showing you stories just like this one. Now, let's begin. Widowhood changes you in ways you never expect. And one of those changes was my decision to stay on the property Glenn and I had built together in rural Montana. He passed 2 winters before that night, and somewhere between burying him and turning 43, I convinced myself that staying made sense. Our nearest neighbors, the Farley family, lived about 3 miles down the county road, and the closest sheriff's substation was in Ridgefield, a good 50-minute drive on roads that turned treacherous after dark. People in the city think isolation sounds peaceful, romantic even. But there is nothing romantic about being a woman alone in a house surrounded by wheat fields and darkness that stretches in every direction. That particular night in early November 2017, I had gone to bed around 10, exhausted from splitting firewood and fixing a section of fence the wind had knocked down. My 2 dogs, a German Shepherd named Duke and a mutt named Copper, slept in their usual spots by the wood stove. The wind had died down, and the house had settled into that deep, consuming quiet that only exists miles away from civilization. I woke to Duke's growl, low and guttural, the kind of sound he only made when something was genuinely wrong. My eyes opened to complete darkness, and for a moment I lay still, listening, trying to separate real sounds from the remnants of whatever dream I had been having. Then Copper joined in. Both dogs now at the bedroom window, their bodies rigid, hackles raised in silhouettes against the faint moonlight coming through the curtains. I heard it then, distant but unmistakable. Other dogs barking somewhere out in the night. The Farleys had hounds, and they never barked like that, unless something had them spooked. I pushed myself up on one elbow, reaching for the lamp on my nightstand. When I saw it, a sweep of headlights moving slowly across my eastern field. Not on the road, but actually in the field, cutting through the harvested wheat stubble. My heart began pounding as I watched the lights move with purpose, methodical, like whoever was driving knew exactly where they were going. Nobody had any business being on my property yet. I checked the clock, 2:47 in the morning. I did not turn on the lamp. Some instinct, ancient and primal, told me to stay in the dark. Instead, I slid out of bed and crouched below the window, peering over the sill just enough to watch. The headlights had stopped moving now, parked at the edge of my property near the old grain silo. Glenn had never gotten around to tearing down. Then they went dark. For a long moment, nothing happened. Just the dogs growling and the distant sound of the Farley hounds still going wild. Then I saw a second set of headlights appear, coming from the opposite direction, from the west where the old logging road cut through the tree line. These lights also moved slowly, deliberately, and they also stopped at the perimeter of my property before going dark. My mouth went dry. I reached for my phone on the nightstand, my fingers finding it in the darkness, and I pressed the power button. The screen lit up, and I immediately dimmed it, shielding the glow with my body. No signal. There was never good signal out here, but sometimes I could get one bar near the kitchen window. I moved through the house without turning on any lights, Duke and Copper following close behind me, their nails clicking softly on the hardwood floors. When I reached the kitchen, I pressed myself against the wall beside the window that faced the front yard and the long gravel driveway that connected my property to the county road. What I saw made my legs go weak. A third vehicle was parked at the end of my driveway, its headlights also off, just a dark shape against the slightly lighter darkness of the sky. They had surrounded the house. 3 vehicles, positioned at 3 different points, and all of them had known exactly where to stop, exactly how to approach without being seen from the road. I checked my phone again, holding it up near the window, watching desperately for even one bar to appear. Nothing. I thought about the landline in the living room, the old rotary phone Glenn had insisted on keeping because cell service was so unreliable. I started moving toward it, staying low, when I heard something that stopped me cold, the distinct sound of a radio crackling somewhere outside, followed by a man's voice too quiet to make out the words, but close enough to hear the tone. I crawled to the living room, my knees scraping against the rug Glenn's mother had given us as a wedding gift. The rotary phone sat on the small table by the couch, and I lifted the receiver as quietly as I could, pressing it to my ear. Dead silence. No dial tone. Nothing. They had cut the line. These were not drunk teenagers or lost hunters. These were people who had planned this, who knew that cutting the phone line would leave me stranded, who understood that by the time anyone realized something was wrong, it would be far too late. I set the receiver down and pressed my back against the couch, trying to think. Glenn's shotgun was in the bedroom closet, a 12-gauge Remington he had taught me to use for coyotes that sometimes went after the chickens. I had not fired it since he died, but I knew it was loaded, knew there was a box of shells on the top shelf beside it. I needed to get back to the bedroom without being seen through any of the windows. Duke suddenly let out a sharp bark, and I grabbed his collar, pulling him close, whispering for him to be quiet. Through the living room window, I saw a beam of light sweep across the front porch. A flashlight. Someone was on my porch, right outside the front door, maybe 15 feet from where I was crouched in the darkness. I heard footsteps on the wooden boards, slow and deliberate, and then the light paused at the window. I pressed myself flat against the floor, my cheek against the cold hardwood, holding both dogs by their collars as they trembled and growled. The beam moved across the room above me, illuminating the couch, the bookshelf, the fireplace mantel with our wedding photos still displayed. Then the light clicked off, and I heard the footsteps retreat, followed by that radio crackle again. A different voice this time, deeper, responded with something I could not understand. They were communicating positions, coordinating movements, and they were doing it with the kind of calm efficiency that terrified me more than anything else. I waited until the footsteps faded before I started crawling toward the hallway that led back to the bedroom. Every creak of the floorboards sounded impossibly loud, and I kept expecting a window to shatter or a door to burst open at any moment. When I finally reached the bedroom, I eased the closet door open and felt around in the darkness until my fingers closed around the cold steel of the shotgun barrel. I pulled it out, checked that it was loaded by touch alone, and grabbed the box of shells from the top shelf. My hands were unsteady as I shoved extra shells into the pockets of my pajama pants. I had no plan beyond this, no idea what I was supposed to do against multiple armed men who clearly knew what they were doing. I thought about hiding, about crawling into the space beneath the bed or locking myself in the bathroom, but I knew that would only delay whatever was coming. These people had not gone through all this trouble just to leave empty-handed. They wanted something, and the only thing of value in this house was me. A sound from the back of the house made Duke lunge forward, barking furiously, and this time I could not stop him. He bolted down the hallway toward the kitchen, Copper right behind him, and I heard the back door rattle violently in its frame. Someone was trying to force it open. I ran after the dogs, the shotgun raised, my bare feet slapping against the floor. When I reached the kitchen, I saw the door shaking as someone threw their weight against it from outside. The deadbolt was holding, but the door was old, the wood frame soft from decades of Montana winters. It would not hold for long. I aimed the shotgun at the center of the door and screamed at the top of my lungs that I had a gun, that I would shoot anyone who came through. The pounding stopped. For a moment there was silence, and I heard that radio crackle again, followed by a voice I will never forget as long as I live. It was calm, almost amused, and it said clearly enough for me to hear through the door. She is in the kitchen, armed, 12 gauge, probably the husband's old Remington. They knew about Glenn. They knew about the gun. A wave of nausea hit me so hard I almost doubled over. These were not strangers who had randomly chosen my house. These were people who had watched me, studied me, learned my routines and my vulnerabilities. I thought about all the times I had gone into town for groceries, all the conversations I had at the feed store or the gas station, mentioning that I lived alone now, that Glenn was gone, that the property was too big for one person, but I could not bring myself to sell. I had told strangers my entire situation without ever thinking twice. The voice outside spoke again, this time directed at me. Mrs. Hartley, we know you are alone. We know the nearest deputy is 47 minutes away on a good night, and the roads are icy. We know your cell phone does not work out here. We have done this before, and it always goes easier when people cooperate. The casual way he listed these facts, like he was reading from a checklist, made me realize how carefully they had planned everything. They had probably watched the house for weeks, maybe months, noting when I went to bed, when I woke up, which lights I turned on and when I turned them off. I backed away from the door, the shotgun still raised, my mind racing through options that all seemed hopeless. The windows were old single-pane glass, easy to break. The doors were solid, but the frames were weak. Even if I shot one of them, there were others, and they would be through the house before I could reload. Then I remembered something, the root cellar. Glenn had dug it himself the second year we lived here, an underground space beneath the kitchen accessible through a trap door hidden under the rug by the pantry. He had installed a heavy steel door at the bottom of the stairs, paranoid about tornadoes even though they were rare this far north. The cellar had supplies, canned food, water, a battery-powered radio, and most importantly, it had a lock that could only be opened from the inside. If I could get down there with the dogs, I could wait them out. Eventually, someone would notice I was missing. Eventually, help would come. It was not a good plan, but it was the only plan I had, and I was running out of time. I moved quickly, pulling back the rug with one hand while keeping the shotgun ready with the other. The trapdoor was right where it had always been, the iron ring handle cold against my palm. I yanked it open and whistled for the dogs, and Duke understood immediately, bounding down the wooden stairs into the darkness below. Copper hesitated, confused, and I had to grab him by the collar and practically shove him through the opening. I was halfway down the stairs myself when I heard glass shatter somewhere in the house, followed by heavy footsteps and voices calling out to each other. They were inside. I pulled the trapdoor shut above me, fumbling in the darkness for the steel door at the bottom of the stairs. My fingers found the handle, and I pulled it closed just as I heard footsteps in the kitchen directly above me. The lock was a heavy deadbolt, the kind you would find on a commercial door, and it slid into place with a solid thunk that echoed in the small concrete room. I pressed my back against the cold wall, both dogs huddled against my legs, and I listened to the sounds of my home being torn apart above me, cabinets slamming, furniture being overturned, and then footsteps directly over the trapdoor, followed by the sound of someone pulling at the handle. A voice, the same calm voice from before, called down through the floor. "Mrs. Hartley, that is a very old door. We have tools. We have time. The choice is yours." I did not answer. I sat in the darkness with my shotgun aimed at the steel door. My dogs pressed against me, and I waited. I heard drilling, prying, the sound of metal scraping against metal. It went on for what felt like hours, but was probably only 40 minutes. Then, suddenly, it stopped. I heard voices arguing, urgent now, the calm tone gone. A vehicle engine started somewhere outside, then another. Through the concrete walls, I heard tires on gravel moving fast, moving away. I did not move from that cellar until sunlight began to creep through the small ventilation grate near the ceiling. When I finally climbed out, my house was destroyed. Every drawer emptied, every closet ransacked, furniture overturned and broken. But I was alive. The sheriff found me sitting on my front porch with the shotgun across my lap, and I told him everything. He listened with the expression I could not read, then told me there had been 3 other home invasions in the county over the past 2 years, all isolated properties, all women living alone. 2 of those women were never seen again. They never caught the men who did it. I sold the property 6 weeks later and moved to Bozeman, where I can see my neighbors' houses from my kitchen window. I still do not sleep through the night. I still wake up at 2:47 in the morning, listening for dogs barking in the distance, waiting for headlights to sweep across a field that no longer exists outside my window. Ridgefield, Montana is the kind of place that does not show up on most maps. Population 200 and something, depending on who had moved away or passed on that year. My best friend Haley and I were sent there every summer to stay with my grandparents while our parents worked. And by the time we finished 6th grade, we knew that dirt road to Perkins General Store better than we knew our own backyards. 4 miles of packed earth cutting through wheat fields and abandoned farmland, with nothing but fence posts and the occasional rusted tractor to break up the endless gold horizon. We had walked it dozens of times without incident. 2 12-year-old girls with too much energy and not enough supervision, picking wild blackberries and racing each other to the old Jennings barn that sat rotting at the halfway point. Our grandparents never worried about us making that trip alone, because nothing ever happened in Ridgefield. That was the whole point of the place, the safety of isolation, the comfort of knowing every single face in town. On that Thursday morning in early June, Grandma pressed a $20 bill into my palm and handed me her grocery list, and Haley and I set off like we had 100 times before. The heat hit us the moment we stepped off the porch, that dry Montana summer heat that makes the air shimmer above the road like a mirage. Haley complained about the dust getting into her sandals, and I told her she should have worn sneakers like I did, and we bickered about nothing as we walked. We were roughly 2 miles in when I heard the engine approaching from behind, which meant nothing at first because farmers drove that road constantly. But this vehicle slowed down in a way that made me turn around and look. A dark green pickup truck with a dented front bumper and mud splattered across the wheel wells pulled up alongside us, keeping pace with our walking speed. The driver leaned across the passenger seat and rolled down the window, and I got my first clear look at his face. He had thin blonde hair slicked back against his scalp with something greasy, pale blue eyes that seemed too wide for his face, and a smile that stretched his lips in a way that showed every single one of his yellow teeth. When he spoke, his voice came out warm and friendly, the kind of voice adults use when they want children to trust them immediately. "You girls must be the Whitaker grandkids," he said, nodding like he already knew the answer. "Heading to Perkins, I bet. Your grandma send you for groceries?" I remember feeling a small wave of relief at that moment, because he knew our family name, which meant he had to be a local, someone safe. Haley relaxed a little beside me, too, her shoulders dropping from their tense position. The man kept talking, explaining that he worked on one of the farms further out past the county line and came through Ridgefield every few weeks for supplies. He said his name was Gene, or maybe it was Dean, something short and plain that I cannot remember clearly anymore because everything that came after erased those small details from my mind. What I do remember is what he said next, leaning further toward the open window with that strange wide smile still plastered across his face. He told us there had been coyote attacks on the road up ahead, that a pack had gotten bold and gone after a couple of dogs just yesterday, and it was not safe for two young girls to be walking alone. Haley looked at me with uncertainty in her eyes, and I could tell she was trying to decide whether to believe him. The thing was, coyote problems were not unusual in that area, and we had been warned about them before by our grandfather, who kept a rifle by the back door for that exact reason. So the story made sense, and the man seemed to know that it would. He offered us a ride the rest of the way to the store, saying it would only take a few minutes, and he was heading that direction anyway. I hesitated, feeling something heavy settle in my chest that I could not explain, a reluctance that had no logical source, but Haley was already moving toward the truck, and I did not want to seem like a scared little kid in front of her. I climbed into the cab after her, settling onto the cracked leather bench seat that smelled like cigarettes and something else, something sour and faintly chemical that I could not identify. The man pulled back onto the road, and for a minute everything seemed normal. Just the rumble of the engine and the dust billowing behind us through the rear window. Then I noticed we were not going the right way. The road to Perkins continued straight for another 2 miles before curving slightly east toward the village center. But this man had turned left onto a narrow side path that led into the overgrown Jennings property. I knew that land well because Haley and I had explored the edges of it many times, daring each other to get closer to the collapsing barn with its dark windows that looked like empty eye sockets. The truck bounced over ruts and potholes as the main road disappeared behind a wall of tall wild grass, and my heart began to pound so hard I could feel it in my throat. I asked him where we were going, trying to keep my voice steady, and he said this was a shortcut that would get us to the store faster. But that was a lie, and I knew it was a lie, because this road led nowhere except deeper into abandoned farmland. Haley grabbed my hand and squeezed it tight, her palm slick with sweat. I looked at her face and saw my own fear reflected back at me, her eyes wide and her lips pressed together in a thin line. The man kept talking in that same cheerful tone, telling us about the weather and the wheat harvest and other things that meant nothing, filling the air with words so we would not have time to think. But I was thinking, and what I was thinking was that nobody knew where we were. Our grandparents expected us to be gone for at least 2 hours, and if we disappeared into these fields, no one would even start looking for us until lunchtime. The truck slowed down as we approached the old Jennings barn, and I saw that someone had been here recently, because there were fresh tire tracks in the mud, and the padlock on the barn door had been replaced with a shiny new one. The man pulled the truck to a stop and turned off the engine, and in that sudden silence I could hear birds singing somewhere far away and the tick of the cooling motor. He turned to look at us with that same terrible smile, and he said we should wait here for just a minute while he checked on something inside the barn. That was when Haley screamed. It was not a word or a call for help, just the raw animal sound of pure terror that seemed to unlock something in both of us. She yanked the door handle and threw herself out of the truck before I even understood what was happening, and I followed her a half-second later, my feet hitting the ground hard enough to send a jolt of pain up through my ankles. The man shouted something behind us, his friendly voice gone sharp and ugly, but I did not turn around to see if he was chasing us. We ran into the tall grass, pushing through stalks that whipped against our faces and arms, our breath coming in ragged gasps. I could hear Haley somewhere to my left, crashing through the vegetation, and I angled toward the sound of her footsteps. The grass was so high that I could not see more than a few feet in any direction, and I kept expecting to feel a hand close around my arm or my hair at any moment. My lungs burned and my legs ached, but I did not slow down, could not slow down, because somewhere behind us was a man who had taken us to an abandoned barn in the middle of nowhere, and I knew with absolute certainty what that meant. We ran until the grass thinned out and gave way to a plowed field, the dirt soft and uneven beneath our feet. I stumbled twice and caught myself with my hands, scraping my palms raw against rocks and dry clods of earth. Haley was crying now, loud hiccuping sobs that she could not control, and I grabbed her wrist and pulled her along because we could not stop yet. In the distance, I could see a farmhouse with a red roof and a weather vane shaped like a rooster, and I pointed toward it and told Haley to keep going. My whole body was shaking, not just my hands, but my legs and my jaw and something deep inside my chest that would not stop trembling no matter how hard I tried to control it. We crossed what felt like miles of open field, exposed and vulnerable under that bright blue sky, before we finally reached the farmhouse and I started pounding on the door with both fists. A woman in her 60s opened it, flour on her apron and confusion on her face, and I tried to explain what had happened, but the words came out jumbled and desperate, and I could see that she did not understand. Her name was Loretta Grimes, and she sat us down at her kitchen table and gave us glasses of water, while she called our grandparents. Haley could not stop crying, her whole body shaking with sobs that seemed to come from somewhere deep inside her, and I held her hand across the table while I tried to answer Loretta's questions. I told her about the man in the green truck, about the lie he told us about coyotes, about the turn onto the side road and the barn with the new padlock. Loretta's face went pale as I spoke, and she picked up the phone again to call the sheriff's office in the next town over. My grandfather arrived 20 minutes later, his face a mask of fear and fury that I had never seen before, and he wrapped both of us in his arms so tight I could barely breathe. The sheriff's deputy showed up an hour after that, a young man with a notepad who wrote down everything I said and nodded seriously but did not seem particularly alarmed. He told us the description matched several trucks in the county, and that without a license plate number, there was not much they could do. My grandmother kept saying we should never have been walking alone, that it was her fault for sending us, and the guilt in her voice made me feel worse than anything else that had happened that day. The following weeks were strange and uncomfortable in ways I did not expect. Word spread through Ridgefield quickly, as it does in small towns, but the reaction was not what I thought it would be. Some people believed us completely and praised us for being smart enough to run, but others, including people I had known my whole life, suggested that we had misunderstood the situation. Maybe the man really was just trying to help, they said. Maybe we panicked for no reason and made a nice farmer look like a criminal. One older man at the general store told my grandfather that city kids were always too suspicious, too dramatic, and that we probably scared a good Samaritan half to death by jumping out of his truck like that. The doubt hurt almost as much as the memory of that day, and Haley and I stopped talking about what happened because it seemed like nobody wanted to hear it. We finished out the summer at our grandparents' house, but we never walked to the store alone again, and we never explored the old Jennings property, and we slept in the same bed every night because neither of us could stand to be alone in the dark. 6 weeks after that Thursday morning, my mother called with news that made her voice crack and tremble through the phone line. A man had been arrested in Carroll County, about 80 miles south of Ridgefield, after attempting to force a 9-year-old boy into his vehicle outside a gas station. The boy's father had been inside paying and came out just in time to see what was happening, and he held the man down until police arrived. The vehicle was a dark green pickup truck with a dented front bumper. When investigators searched the property where the man lived, a rented trailer on the edge of an old farming community, they found things that my mother would not describe to me no matter how many times I asked. She only said that the man had done this before, in other counties, in other states, and that some of those children had never been found. I sat on the edge of my bed in my childhood room, the phone pressed against my ear, and I thought about that barn with the shiny new padlock and the fresh tire tracks in the mud. I thought about how close we had come to being part of a story that ended very differently, a story that might have ended with our photographs on missing person flyers stapled to telephone poles across Montana. Haley and I are adults now, both of us with families of our own, and we have only talked about that day a handful of times in all the years since. But I think about it more often than I would like to admit, usually when I see my own daughter walking home from school or riding her bike around the neighborhood. I taught her early about strangers and cars and the lies that dangerous people tell, and I made sure she understood that politeness is never more important than survival. She knows that if something feels wrong, she should run first and explain later, and she knows that I will always believe her no matter what anyone else says. The man who drove that green truck is serving multiple life sentences now, locked away in a place where he cannot hurt anyone else. But sometimes late at night when sleep will not come, I still see his face through that rolled down window. I still see those yellow teeth stretched into that wide, unnatural smile. And I still hear his friendly voice, asking if we were the Whitaker grandkids heading to the store. And I wonder how many other children heard that same voice, saw that same smile, and were not lucky enough or fast enough to escape into the tall grass before it was too late. My cousin got me the job at the grain facility out near Harlow County, about 40 minutes from the nearest town with a stoplight. He worked for the agricultural company that owned the place and said they needed someone to cover night shifts for a few weeks, while their regular guy recovered from back surgery. Simple work, he promised. Walk the perimeter twice a night, log any delivery trucks that came through, check the temperature gauges on the storage bays, and make sure nobody was messing around on the property. The pay was decent for what amounted to sitting in a small office trailer and reading most of the night. I had just finished my teaching certification and was waiting for the school district to finalize my contract for the fall semester, so the timing worked out. My girlfriend thought I was crazy for taking a job in the middle of nowhere, but we needed the money, and 6 weeks of overnight shifts seemed like easy cash. The facility itself sat on about 15 acres of flat land surrounded by cornfields on 3 sides and a county road on the 4th. There were 6 massive grain silos, a long metal warehouse for equipment storage, and 3 smaller storage bays used for overflow during harvest season. The office trailer where I spent most of my time was positioned near the front gate, close enough to the road that I could see headlights coming from a mile away. My first 3 shifts were exactly what my cousin described. Boring in the best way possible. I did my rounds at midnight and again at 4 in the morning, wrote down a whole lot of nothing in the logbook, and spent the rest of my time grading practice tests I had created for the class I would be teaching in September. The only company I had was the security cameras, 8 of them total, feeding grainy black and white footage to a monitor that looked like it belonged in the 90s. The night sounds out there took some getting used to. The grain settling in the silos made these deep groaning noises, and the wind coming across the fields would rattle the metal siding on the warehouse something fierce. It was my 4th shift when I noticed the first thing that seemed wrong. During my midnight round, I walked past Storage Bay 2, one of the smaller units used for equipment and spare parts, and saw fresh tire tracks in the gravel leading up to the roll-up door. Now that door was supposed to stay locked, and according to the schedule my cousin had given me, no deliveries were expected until the following Tuesday. I checked the lock and it was secure, so I figured maybe someone from the day crew had pulled up there earlier and I just had not noticed the tracks before. I wrote it down in the logbook anyway, the way I was supposed to. And finished my round without thinking much more about it. But when I came back around at 4 in the morning, I noticed something else. There was a dark stain on the concrete pad right outside the bay door, maybe 2 feet wide. Like someone had spilled something and tried to wash it away. The edges were still wet. I crouched down and touched it, and my fingers came up with this faint pinkish color. Looked diluted, like whatever it was had been hosed down, but not completely cleaned. I stood there for a while, trying to come up with an explanation that made sense. Maybe one of the day workers had cut himself and cleaned it up. Maybe someone hit a deer on the road and pulled in to check their vehicle. I almost convinced myself it was nothing, but something kept nagging at me. Why would anyone wash down a spill at a grain facility in the middle of the night? I took a few pictures with my phone, just in case, and went back to the trailer. I thought about calling my cousin, but it was almost 5 in the morning, and I did not want to wake him up. for what was probably nothing. The rest of that shift, I kept looking at those pictures, zooming in like I was going to find some answer hidden in the pixels. When the day supervisor showed up at 6 to relieve me, I mentioned the tire tracks and the stain. He was this older guy named Dwight, been working there for 15 years, and he just shrugged and said it was probably hydraulic fluid from one of the tractors. He did not seem concerned at all, so I let it go. But I saved those pictures anyway. 2 nights later, I found the tools. I was doing my 4 in the morning round, walking along the back side of the warehouse where the security cameras did not reach. There was a dead zone back there, maybe 60 feet of space between the building and the fence line that nobody had bothered to cover. I almost tripped over a canvas bag sitting in the weeds near the drainage ditch. It was heavy. And when I opened it, I found a set of bolt cutters, a crowbar, a roll of duct tape, and a box of latex gloves. None of it belonged to the facility. I knew every piece of equipment in that warehouse because I had walked through it during my orientation. And this stuff was not on any inventory list. The bolt cutters still had price tags on them from a hardware store I did not recognize. I stood there holding the bag, my heart going a mile a minute, trying to figure out what the hell I was looking at. Part of me wanted to believe it was just some random stuff that blew in. got dumped by kids messing around. But bolt cutters and duct tape do not just appear together by accident. I put everything back exactly how I found it, marked the spot in my head, and walked back to the trailer as fast as I could without running. I called my cousin that morning after my shift ended. Told him everything, the tire tracks, the stain, the bag of tools. He got quiet for a long time, which was not like him at all. Finally, he said I should keep my head down.